Great to be live again. It's 9 o'clock EST. John, good to see you. You caught me live, John. It's great to see you, man. John F76. And the F stands for, put it in whatever you want. Could be fine, could be freaky, could be effed up, could be effing cool. But John's a great supporter, and it's great to see you. John, Time of Dying, 000. Is that like from the song? I don't know. You'll have to let me know. All right, so tonight I'm here with Matt, a.k.a. Butch Cleaver Burke. And Matt is working on his second book after having already successfully done Butch Cleaver. You are live. Yes, sir, I'm live. Dead alive, undead, and live. And with Matt, and we're talking about Butch Cleaver 2 tonight because you've already done Butch Cleaver. And hey, what better thing to do than to do a sequel? I often recommend to do sequels. And sometimes it's the right thing to do, and sometimes it's not the right thing to do, apparently. Not for Butch Cleaver, it's the right thing to do, but for, different, there's so many projects to do, right? There's a lot of projects that are out right now. So it's kind of like, hey, should we be doing a sequel? Maybe. I did College of the Dead 2. I overprinted a lot of this book. If you haven't gotten this book yet, you might want to check it out because
it's awesome.
I got a lot of copies of it. Yeah, the cover is amazing. The cover is I'll be selling that cover for the rest of my life probably.
That's what inspired me to do this cover.
Oh, did it? Oh, awesome. Yeah, and I was inspired to do that, I think, probably by Lady Death, to be honest. I mean, because he has such an iconic cover on the first Lady Death. Hey, J Dollar Sign. What's up, J Dollar? Great to see you like kicking it. Guys, this is going to be like a semi-regular thing. I'm trying to do 9 o'clock shows, help to promote people's books, also just, talk to people. I think what people do that when they do the Comicsgate shows and they do like multiple people on at one time, I think that's a great format and it works really well. But for me, I really like to get a chance to, go one-on-one with somebody too, and kind of have a platform where we just talk about just their project and them and kind of find out a little bit about them, get some insights and stuff like that. So that's been my game. So that's how I'm rolling it with the CG brothers and sisters. So Matt, great to be with you. I know you were talking about getting on. You're doing your sequel. So you got your first book out. How did people like the first Butch Cleaver?
People responded to it greatly. I got some constructive criticism, things I might want to switch up in the new book. So I'm really excited about that. And I got over 100 backers on the first book. We exceeded our goal. Fulfilled on time, and I want to take the story forward and kind of dive into his origin on this one. Just go complete, no holds barred, and show everybody what it's all about and what makes Butch, tick, and what made him who he is, why he is and why he does what he does.
Why he cleaves.
Exactly.
Does he have a cleaver?
Yes, he does. Lenny.
He has a cleaver and a gun.
Yeah.
Okay. So is this the second comic? Like, it's the second in the series, obviously, but have you done other comics before these comics?
Nope. I only did 3 issues of Butch Cleaver, and I combined them into one graphic novel. That was Butch Cleaver. That was the first one I did with Comicsgate. And this one right here, I'm just calling it Butch Cleaver 2 because, Butch Cleaver 2, the victim, the villain, or the victor. That's the name of the title. And this is never published before material, so no one's ever seen this before. And it's going to be 52 pages. 52
pages, black and white or color?
Color.
Now, you are showing a lot of black and white here.
Yeah.
So, it sometimes it gives off a little bit of a black and white vibe, so you have to be careful. But this is definitely full color. And you got a lot of backers back from the first campaign?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, probably about half of them were from the first book.
Cool. Very cool. All right, guys. Probably want to check this out. Now, so have you written comics or drawn comics before? What part of this are you doing?
I'm doing everything.
Oh, okay. So you're writing, drawing, lettering, everything.
Yep.
Oh, it's Violet. What's up, Violet? Good to see you. Hey, John, don't forget to like and share. Yes, please do. The YouTube notification system is not fantastic. That's true. And also, I did an announcement about the show earlier, hours ago, so I guess people get it earlier, and then sometimes they don't see it. I don't know. What are you going to do? What up, JJ J-Jax. That's it. I know somebody named JJ Jackson, so throws me off a little bit. Hard to say. Okay, so you're drawing, you're writing, you're everythinging.
Yes.
It's just like such a big job.
Yeah, it's massive. Job. I started working on Butch Cleaver 10 years ago, and I did it. I just tried to make my style and get it, take it to the next level. And then I did an issue. I crumbled it up, started over, did another one, and I just kept trying to make it better and better and better each time I do it. But I work a full-time job, so I can't devote too much time as much as I'd like to. Is with the kids, and it's a lot of stuff. So it's usually about 4 hours a day. It's either going to be penciling, inking, coloring, editing, lettering, and also checking emails, promoting. So you have to divide everything up.
It's a ton of work, man. It's a ton of work.
Yeah.
I'm just working on writing now because normally, this is the problem with making these comics is if you drop the ball on one thing, the weakest link in the chain, if you just drop the ball on one thing, and not that you have, I'm just saying, like, when I'm working on stuff, it's like, man, there's just so much stuff to do.
Oh, yeah.
For the guys that successfully do all of it, it's kind of miraculous.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's miraculous. Yeah, it's just it's nothing short of. But the thing is the promo part is so difficult.
Yeah.
Just doing the YouTube channel, getting out there, meeting people, promoting, talking about the campaign constantly. And did you do signups for this one before you launched it?
Actually, yeah, I did. There's a card that people could get. It's actually the Street Enforcer Butch. It's Butch when he was like alive. So in the story, he was like a enforcer for the meat packing company. So during the day, he's kind of like a part of this job is he's like a meat cutter, and boss. And then on his other job is he goes around and extorts money from the townspeople of Oubliette, which is where the story takes place. It's a gothic horror western. It's a fictional town.
So his other job is he handles meat cleavers professionally. Exactly.
He's the butcher.
Why it says only one viewer? I don't know. There's a couple of viewers. I don't know. It's not always reporting that correctly. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it's not. All right. How did he decide to go from running around with a cleaver at work to like running around with a cleaver outside of work?
So basically, we're going to go into that in the sequel. Because when the first book starts,
that's the origin, right? Good.
Yeah. But in the first book, it basically starts out where there's this, this butcher that's been resurrected, and he's just taking people out, and you don't know why. He's just this crazy, like, psycho, demonic type phantasm, and you basically kind of go into where he came from, and he's awakened by this Mothman character right here in this desert called the Bone Void. It's like sands of bone dust in this bone abbey. He wakes him up, and they get into a fight. And this guy right here, Mothman, he's like his guide / trainer, and he shows him the ropes. And then Butch kind of, gives him what for, and he escapes from there, and he comes back to the town of Oubliette, and he starts looking for the people that killed him. So that's basically one of the main things about this first and second book. Not the main thing though. There's another thing going on. I don't want to spoil too much, but he's always trying to find out who killed him. And he goes to one guy and it's not, he gets one thing, he goes to another clue. It's not what he's looking for, but all the while there's bounty hunters chasing him. In the town, there's this character called the Voodoo Doll. And basically he's a preacher pimp. And when you do business with him, he takes out a voodoo doll of you, and it's basically like an insurance policy. So if you step out of line, he's going to hex you. So that's what he did to the white rat right there, Whitey Ratatouille. And that's Butch right there when he's a kid. He hexed him, and he hexed Butch. So, and that's the voodoo doll. That's the preacher pimp right there.
Whoa.
So, yeah, he's got a lot of voodoo dolls in his closet.
Black magic is scary stuff.
Yeah, very, very much so.
It actually does work, but that's a whole other...
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Have you ever gotten involved in using black magic for anything?
Nah, but I know some people that do. And I know of it.
It's worth dabbling a little bit. Just a little bit. Well, you could do it for health. You could do it for money. You could do it for, revenge, all the normal stuff. But it's like sympathetic magic. But it's about getting you to really focus on something and believe something.
Yeah.
So sometimes, like, because basically, like, if it's something really positive or something really negative, just generally in life, if you believe those things, if you're really focused on those things, you'll get those things. So that's why it's good to not be like, a really dark, evil person.
Yeah, it's all about the positive energy.
Happens.
It's
Keep
amazing
it
what the brain could do.
Yeah, I'm into that. I'm into that stuff to some degree. The good stuff, the positive stuff. Yeah, this is like really hectic, cool stuff. So, yeah. Hey, so what do you got left time wise?
I got 9 days left.
You have 9 days left, and you're on your second 30, right?
Yes.
Okay, and you need $4,000 to get on this thing.
Yep.
Basically, you got to get $4,000 on it. All right, we're all going to have to support it as much as we can. Also, share it around on Twitter and Facebook, and you'll be on some other shows, hopefully.
Yeah, I just jumped off Black Rose right now. I was hanging out with those guys, and then
cool.
I'm going on with Richard Embry tomorrow, and then I'm going on K-pop on Wednesday.
Cool. Did you go on Don? Do you know Don Chen?
Yeah, I went on Don Chen's to on one of his Wednesday shows. We were talking the pre-launch. That was a while ago, though. I was back in pre-launch.
I can't offer Don or anything, but he's a great guy. I can tell you that much. So
he's awesome, man.
Yeah, he really knows his stuff because he was in the comics, back in the day when we were doing comics in the early '90s, and I think he was late '80s too, but at least early '90s. But yeah, Don knows his stuff. Parody Press and Entity, and I'm going to be on with him, I think, next Wednesday. Nice. This Wednesday actually. Yeah, so it'll be fun. I've had him on my channel before a couple of times. He's a good guy. He's a great guy. All right. So, let's look at some of the tiers here. So you've got the Bone Barrel. What does that include?
So that one's going to come with the first print graphic novel of Butch Cleaver, like the one I showed earlier. And it's also going to come with Butch Cleaver 2. And it's also going to come with the head sketch by me on a 7x10 Bristol board, inked in India ink. So I'll send them all that. And then it's $5 off if you were going to just buy those things separately. So.
Okay, so $80, not bad. Signed, you got a few backers for that. Not bad. Butch Cleaver #2 signed. That's just straight $25. And how many pages is that?
52, and that's just story pages. But I might add more, and there's definitely going to be some expanded, behind the scenes stuff in the back.
Butch Cleaver. All right, yeah, I love the making of stuff. I'm very big on making of. Because it's so, I just love the process. The process is so freaking interesting.
If you want, I could show you the first book. I had a lot on there. I don't want to spoil too much, but
let's see something.
We have some stuff like this, behind the scenes art gallery. I go into stuff about how I made the book, characters, first designs of the characters from 10 years ago, how I do a page from pencils to inks to colors. I break it down from thumbnails, all that type of stuff. Sorry. So
yeah, all that making of stuff. The making of stuff is awesome. I'm just crazy for making of stuff because I love the process.
Me too.
Because if you get to collaborate with other people, and when I did the Mermaids particularly, was collaborating with, I think we had 3 different artists that on the pencil and ink side, and 2 different colorists, maybe even 3 different colorists. I think 2 different colors. But anyway, everybody adds their own really cool thing to it, and then you can collaborate, and ultimately you come up with something better than one person could usually do. Mr. Yanafui, always good to see Mr. Yanafui. I hope you're doing good. I hope your family's good. He's a really funny guy. Does some great memes. Thank you for showing me that stuff. Let me get back to this campaign. I hope this is a successful campaign. You never know with these things, but the whole thing is no matter what happens, you keep rolling, you keep rocking. Yeah, 4,000 is a little bit of a high number on fixed.
Yeah,
I'm not, not to complain or anything like that. I know, with College of the Dead book 1, I asked for, I think it was 5,000 fixed, and it's one of these things. I was thinking in terms of the old Kickstarter model because I used to study Kickstarter before. I actually did one Kickstarter before College of the Dead. It was Divas of the Dead, and it was a pinup book collecting pinup art of sexy dead zombie girls. But Yeah, that one did like 2,500, which was good for that. Plus, I spent like a bunch of money on advertising, which at the time used to work relatively well on Facebook. I don't think the guys are telling me it doesn't really work anymore. But in any case, yeah. So we did. I was thinking in terms of like let me get 5,000, but the problem was on Indiegogo, really nobody knew who the hell I was. Everybody was so cool. They invited me on shows. I was on War Campaign invited me on. They were great guys. They helped me get a video going because I had no campaign video, and they recommended me to a bunch of guys, and other people had me on. Simon Poitier, and then Ethan had me on his channel, Ethan Van Sciver, and a few people, and they were just so great. Everybody's just so awesome, like they're so supportive. But I was getting really nervous because I wasn't hitting the goal. So eventually I got to like just over 5,000 on the first book. And I was like, oh my God, thank God. And the funny thing was like, I had the whole thing done. So sort of like, I kind of didn't need to do that. But the Kickstarter mentality was you ask for more, so you get more money. And if you don't ask for more, you might not get as much money as you otherwise would. I don't know. It was crazy. It was crazy. But anyway, it ultimately wound up working out. Hey, Paul, what's happening? Hail, Paul. Hail, Paul Gibb. Good people. Yeah, it's just great. You kind of don't know people, then you kind of get in and you see their name again and again. And you're like, hey, it's Violet. It's Paul Gibb. It's John. Just great guys. All right. Sorry, we were in the middle of some of these tiers that we were checking out. So you have, that's first print. Separate. That's different. Okay. So first print, you did some overruns of Butch Cleaver #1.
Yes.
Cool. And you have these as add-ons as well if people like want to add on one product or another?
Yes.
Very cool. All right. So that's the first printing of the first graphic novel. And then Butch Cleaver head sketch. You're an artist. You can do stuff like that. It's $35. What size is that? Oh, there it is. An A10 by 7? No. What is A10? Is it like British? Oh, that's a 10 by 7.
Yeah.
That's my vision not really working. Okay. So it's 10 by 7. Understood. Butch Cleaver 1 and 2. See, isn't that cool? You're up to offering 2, and there's some people who are like, oh, yeah, I want to get 1.
Yeah.
They throw it in there. That's cool. That's cool. All right. So it's 1 and 2. Wanted poster art because he's wanted. Now, this is original art.
Yeah, so basically, everyone that backs is going to get a wanted poster, and all the stuff that's on the left, that's what everybody's going to get when they back the book. So with that's the original art. You're going to get the 2 books. You're also going to get a head sketch by me, and you're also going to get free shipping on this particular perk worldwide.
Wow. How do you ship stuff that, like, if you have art that's like 11 by 15, 10 by 15? How do you ship that like internationally and have it not be a hassle?
What I do is I ship it in those shipping tubes like that. And as far as hassle go, it could be or it couldn't be a hassle. It's just like kind of
depends on where it's going. You got to take a shot.
Yeah. Okay. If it's going to Australia, it'll probably take like 3 months or something, or sometimes.
Yeah. I got lucky with international again. I mean, it was a little expensive, and rates are going up at the end of the month, I guess.
Yeah.
Or the 29th, that's today or something, tomorrow. Rates are going up again. It is what it is. You gotta ship it. There really aren't that many tricks. Critical Blast, I don't know if you know him on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
He's been reshipping domestically for some international people, and that seems like it's been working out really well.
Nice.
He did it for the guy who does Company Man, which is a beautiful looking book.
Yeah.
And he and I were talking about the UK. I hope he gets somebody in the UK. Because, if he could ship like 30 orders, 20 orders for somebody in the UK. With the Mermaids, we did just about 20 orders in the UK. And we shipped it directly, and it worked out fine. But it's so much cheaper to ship domestically than it is international.
It's almost like you need someone to print it in the UK. You know what I mean? Like mix them in the UK. Where you have someone there, and then that person that works for you there checks out what makes them printed, that whole print run. They inspect them all, then they mail one of those printed ones to you. Then you could say that one's good, and then they can fulfill it over there. I think that'd be the only way.
No, somebody said something that's drama related. Let's get it. Okay. John says, don't let sketch therapy hear you compliment war campaign. You'll never. No, hey, this drama with the war campaign, whatever it was. The thing of it is the people that do what they do what they do. And those guys, look, the war campaign guys, if it was some big, I didn't get the impression it was a conspiracy. I don't know. They were great. They were very cool to me. And then they had a blow up with whoever else. And then they were mad at me, I think, too. But it's like, it is what it is. And I know you're just being funny, John. But the truth is that Comicsgate, was the heart of it was like, for me anyway, was Ethan Van Sciver being really inspired and grateful for the opportunity to publish his Frog comic and to have the support that him and his family could support themselves. And that just like radiated out. And then you had like other people who were like, had maybe a small channel or very small, like a couple hundred or 100, whatever, people that reached out to me that saw me somewhere and were like, hey, they probably saw me on War Campaign. And they were like, come on my channel. I didn't know that I could talk for 45 minutes about myself, with somebody. Now it's like, I don't shut up. I talk too much. But I didn't know that I could do that. And then eventually I wound up on other people's channels helping launch important projects just like a bit, every project's important. But like, like a couple $100,000 project, Expendables, whatever. I was on that launch show for 9 hours that night. Just being on the panel, just freaking loving it. But then also going and helping other people too. So it's kind of amazing to be able to contribute and have other people support, and do stuff. Okay, so cool. Can I add something on after? Okay. Can you add something after completing your contribution? That's time of dying asking.
Yeah, it just might depend on what thing you backed. You might have to refund it right now and then reback another thing depending on which tier you backed. And it's right now we're still like in the funding, Matt, live. So
Matt, do you know how to set up a secret perk?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So you might work something out with somebody too with a secret perk. I'll tell you too, like with one of the things I did with College of the Dead and also with the Mermaids, and it worked out. We got some extra stuff. Like I had some people that backed the regular Mermaids comic and then were like, hey, how do I get that 100-page making of book?
Yeah.
So I created some secret perks that were not extra shipping. And as long as we don't have, like you and me don't have 1,000 orders, I had a couple of 100 orders. You have a little bit less than 100 right now. If somebody wants for us to add, something, it's not that big a deal. We just think you have to kind of write it down and keep track. It's not that big a deal. Yeah, I haven't seen Sketch around lately either.
Or you can DM me on Twitter if you want, or email me, whatever works for you.
DM a brother on Twitter.
It just depends on what you got, so I could work it out for you.
Shadowhawk,
thank you.
Shadowhawk says, Shadowhawk is great people. Hail, Adam. Hail, Matt. Butch Cleaver is bone splintering.
Thanks, man.
Thank
you.
We got to splinter those bones. They were, oh my God. When War Campaign was focused on being funny, they were hysterical. They were really funny and really entertaining. And that really did add a lot to Comicsgate. It's just, it's very hard to do multiple different things. We were just talking about that before. Like if you're going to have an entertaining show, you're focused on having an entertaining show. And then, you get involved in doing a lot of other stuff. There's just so much we can do. That's why, like, I'm trying to do, like, at least an interview or a video every day now. That's my discipline. I get very busy, and now I'm working on writing. And I don't know if you find it this way, but, like, you want it to be good. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You want it to be, like, and in my case, like, I've hired a lot of professional writers to work with before where it's, like, my idea, but then they're putting in like a character arc and adding some supporting characters. And then we're going back and going over it again, whatever. When the work is done, it's polished, it's professional, and it's tight like a drum. It's very coherent. It's perfect. It's not amateurish in any way. So I can't lower that standard. I'm going to feel terrible. So it's like, I'm writing myself now, and I've been working on learning it like the last few months, and it just has to be good. Because the thing is, we spend a year or something doing these.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There's no excuse that it comes out after a year and someone's going to say, "Yeah, Adam, but your lettering is amateurish." Like, no, it's not, and it's never going to be. You know, stuff I published in the past. You know, I had a scale of like very high quality, and then we had low budget, lower quality stuff, whatever. But you know, now if we're in Comicsgate, it's got to be our best of our best, and we shouldn't have to make excuses for any aspect of the production. King Toad says, "Hail Matt," or Ale Matt, not Hail Matt. He gives you a beer.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It's giving you a beer. Shadowhawk says Butch Cleaver is so metal. Death Clock should do the soundtrack.
Love Death Clock.
That's extremely metal. That's about as metal as you can get. You just kind of reminded me. I have to listen to more Death Clock again. That was great. I had that on my phone. I play it all the time.
Oh yeah.
Paul Gibbs said, "There's bad apples in every group. You can't control everything, but you can control yourself." You know, Paul, I appreciate the compliment. Can I control myself? Matt, I don't know. You probably can. I've lived too long with too much freedom. I can't really control myself. VileNet is always a pleasure. Order and chaos. Order and chaos.
Chaos versus order.
Sketch was on Ethan's stream earlier going nuts about being doxxed or something. Oh. Sketch is so funny. He's so energetic.
Yeah, it's easy.
EVS made a morning stream, but he made it private. Don't know what happened. Okay. Yeah, look, Ethan goes live. Sometimes they're going to be private, those streams, so you gotta catch them. Oh, I think I saw he was on earlier. The day goes so fast. Do you have to-do lists, Matt? Are you into like a to-do list kind?
Yeah, I have an old one that I write in, and I got that from my grandpa. He did a lot of stuff. He would always make a long list and never finish all of it, but he would write it, for the day. And so I do that, you know what I mean? And I try to knock out as much stuff as I can. Otherwise, I don't get any work done.
Good to see you, Rick Saylor. Hail to you, my brother.
No, brother.
Guys, I've been starting on to-do lists, and what I'm finding is, here's what I'm finding. We're going to talk about to-do lists for a second, because this is important. This is about our stuff. And back Butch Cleaver. With a to-do list, it is incredibly empowering.
Yeah.
It's almost like putting on like a suit of armor. It's like, I'm going to smash through some of these things. So I start my day and I've got this to-do list, and then I run out of things to do, usually about an hour into the day. And then I'm like, all right. And then I get distracted by other stuff and there's no more to-do list. But for an hour, I'm very productive.
Yeah.
I'm extremely productive. How about you? Like, do you get through it like past, how do you like, is it a day's worth of to-do list, or is it more like, a couple of things?
So what I do is I used to load that fucker up, and then I realized that it's just too much. So now I try to stick to either one big thing or three things. So that's how I do it, because sometimes it's just too much, man. You can't. And really, I try to be as realistic as possible. I try to overload it too much.
This is the advice that I got, and it's very good advice. You need a daily to-do list, a monthly to-do list, and like an annual one. And they have to be equivalent to like goals. So if you're like, listen, within the next year, Butch Cleaver 2 is coming out, and I'm starting on 3, whatever the goal is. Yeah, it is something like the mind gets working on it, and like you start like getting there, and the pieces start coming together. Because I haven't been working with like an annual to-do list. And then you kind of, I'll tell you what, I'm starting to kind of get into it.
It's weird, man, because you're forecasting like, a year in advance. You know what I mean? Like for me,
it's uncomfortable.
But it keeps me kind of motivated. You know what I mean?
The to-do list could be good.
Yeah, I was going to launch this on the same day I launched the first book. You know what I mean? Which was my birthday, but I did it 2 days before, which was almost an exact year. So I tried to create the same thing and try to fulfill it on the same time, or maybe even like 3 months later or 2 months later, so I could give myself a little more cushion. Because last time it was very challenging, but I still fulfilled on time.
How long was your trailer? We didn't even watch the trailer yet.
It's a minute.
All right, let's check this sucker out. Finally tells me no sound. Is he lying? Is there really no sound?
Oh yeah, there's no sound.
Oh,
sorry,
Mr. Yanafui, you'd never lie to me. He would never lie to me. He's good people. You didn't lie to me either. I'm just saying. All right, I will always. Now everyone's saying no audio. Mr. Solomon, there's no audio. All right, you know what we need? We're going to reshare this. We're going to start over. We're going to get you guys missed some really, really good music because actually the music's very good.
Thanks.
Yeah, it is. It is.
That's my band.
Really?
Yeah.
I used to be in a band. It was a long time ago, but I was lead singer. All right, I can add this. I have to air this. All right, hold on. I can't. I mean, come on. Now I'm boomering this thing. They're going to add a file. It's all completely broken. All right, hold on a second. Good Lord. All right, guys, we're going to load this up. We got to get, you guys are going to love the music. It's actually very badass. It's super metal. Okay. Thanks. Now we're going to share it with audio. Sharing with audio. Thank you for your patience, guys. All right. Share. Share screen. Of course. Share audio. I always share audio. How did I not share audio this time? Oh, man. No, not mermaids. We got it?
Yes, sir.
Boom. Back Butch Cleaver! Back Butch Cleaver! Death!
Hell yeah.
Where's the audio? Death! Back it! Cleaver!
Hell yeah.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it. That's very cool.
Thanks, man. Yeah, Red Gaze did the trailer.
Where's the audio? Oh, I love Red Gaze. Good people. Where's the screaming?
Oh, well, if you back the book, you get the whole song. That's just the intro to the song. And so you'll get my vocals on there. And if you want to listen to it, it's the second video. So if people come back to this, you'll the second video on there is the whole song. And in the description, I put the lyrics in there to the song too. So
good to see you, Louise. Guys, we want to I hope you're laughing at me because that was kind of funny.
That was metal, dude.
Not bad, right? I have to play it back because I didn't get to hear myself. Yeah. You know, Death Clock was really, really cool. It was like I can't even imagine like how many people were introduced to like now that what is that considered speed metal or?
Well, they kind of do a bunch of different styles of metal, I'd say, but it's for sure like extreme death metal.
Yeah, you're a complete artist because you. Good point, JJ Max. Wait, J Jax.
I scream in a microphone, my buddy Dave, and I say, "Oh, that sounds good. Try that. Maybe 4 times that, 4 times that. Maybe put a solo right there, or maybe not. Oh, fuck you, Matt. This sounds better. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then I write stories when I scream in the microphone.
I want to really do that while there's still time. There are some Led Zeppelin songs. I don't even like talking about this, but it's just you and me, Matt. But there are some because I used to do Led Zeppelin. That was sort of my thing. And then there are some songs, though, it's a little hard to do the vocals like the way I used to do the vocals.
Oh, yeah. My throat, like, okay, so the first Butch Cleaver, real quick, Death Metal Hero, he did a song with Rotten Glory for that. He did a song called
Oh, that is so cool. I didn't know that.
They did a song, and everybody liked it. I mean, a lot of people liked it. And so I'm like, every single book that I put out, I'm putting out a death metal song. And if I don't do it, then I'm going to get another band to do it, hopefully, if I'm blessed enough. And then I hit my buddy Dave up, my guitar player, and he was down to do a song. I'm like, you want to give a song? He's like, fuck yeah. So I'm like, let's do it. And it was nice to get in there and write a song again. I haven't done music in like over 2 years, so this was really fun.
How old are you? You mind my asking?
No, I'm 38. I just turned 38
Okay.
last month.
When I think of stuff that I haven't done in a while, generally it's like 25 years ago. Like I'm not only 51, but still.
Yeah.
J-Jack says Led Zeppelin covers. Damn, Adam, you need to be very good to do that.
It's hard, man. That guy's got some good pipes. You know what I mean? And for me, like, not practicing just to try to go in and just preparing yourself. It's hard, dude.
Mr. Yanafui says he can sing. You don't sing, Mr. Yanafui. Usually you tell me the truth. He always tells you the truth except for that. If you really can sing, let me know, and I will send you the link, Mr. Yanafui. Because you singing is something I've never heard before, and that could definitely help this campaign. Why not? Whole lot of love.
Yeah, I love Zeppelin.
There is some stuff though in the lyrics, like they're not as bad. They're badass, but they're not exactly as badass as I thought.
Oh yeah. Well, a lot of the Tolkien's Lord of the Rings stuff's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. Some of it is a little bit like it's a little, I don't know. I'm gonna leave you. I'm gonna leave you in the summertime. It's like you just leave her already. You know what I mean? Like it's like you don't need to explain yourself to her. She's not doing what she needs to do for whatever reason. You're gonna leave her. That's it.
Right.
Baby, I'm gonna leave you. I said, you know what I'm saying? So it's like,
oh yeah,
all right, it's cool, but it's like, just leave her already if she's not like, doing what she's got to do.
Right.
That's what I think. That's what I think. All right, so this is Butch Cleaver. What have you've been on a bunch of the other Comicsgate channels?
Yeah. I've been on a bunch of shows.
Other CG
Everyone's helped me out, like the whole community, like 90% of it or so, like everybody, dude.
Do you have like your own promotion on anything? Like, do you have your own YouTube yet?
I have Metal Movies and Brewskis. That's my my YouTube channel. On there, I just talk about metal and movies and brewskis, pretty much. The books I back, I'll do a quick little review on it, the books I like, and talk about it. I usually pair it up with a beer that kind of relates to it. And sometimes I do movie reviews, and I'll do like a quick doodle that has to deal with the movie. Sometimes I do album reviews, and I will sketch a doodle that has anything to do with the album that I'm talking about. Because a lot of metal has big concepts, like a comic book. You know what I mean? So if it's like an album about Loki from a death metal band from Sweden, I might draw Loki, or you know what I mean? Or if it's a cosmic thing, I might draw some space shit. You know what I mean?
But not necessarily related to your comic project.
What I'll do is I'll drop a trailer. I might advertise my book in there.
Well, what is your YouTube channel? Let's put it on there. People are probably curious to hear you sing. It's not all about my singing. I
only have that one, just that one song up on there right now. The band is Nightmare Nemesis. That's our band. And that if they go to, it's Metal Movies and Brewskis. If you want, I could send you the link.
Can you send me the link because it seems hard to type? Yeah, I'll screw it up anyway. I'll type it wrong. I don't want to do that to you.
Sorry.
No problem. No problem. Yeah, look it up. So, guys, this is Butch Cleaver. Matt seems like he's cool as hell. In 9 days to go, you may make it. If you don't make it, you have to try again and maybe just chill out a little bit on the goal. Because what happened to me was I know people saw my goal and they were a little bit like, all right, I don't know if Adam's going to hit his goal or not. So on Kickstarter, if people like pledge to the goal and it doesn't get reached and they don't get the money, people like between fixed and flexible, even people that run campaigns, not you, but other people don't necessarily realize like, okay, well, fixed means I'm not going to get any of the money, but the backers don't necessarily even know. So if a backer sees a campaign and they have any hesitancy about thinking about you hitting the goal or not, they may not back it.
Oh, for sure.
Like, as in the case of fixed, anybody that backs this campaign, if God forbid you didn't hit your fixed goal, they wouldn't get charged.
Right.
But people don't necessarily know that difference from fixed to flexible. Like not you as a campaign owner, but a backer. So that I became really freaked out about that on the first
it's freaky,
campaign.
Man. It's freaky.
It's it's kind of hard to know, and you wouldn't necessarily the backers wouldn't necessarily know, and it's hard to communicate. So I remember as I was pitching College Dead 1, I had to keep telling people, look, it's already done. I'm definitely going to do it no matter what. I think I did it. You know what? I don't think it was. I don't know. It's really funny. I can't remember. I don't remember if it was a high. I think it was a high flexible goal that I did or something like that. I screwed it up, whatever I did. So it's just good to just have consideration for it. But I don't know. I mean, you know who gives like great advice? Michael Bancroft gives great advice. John Malin gives great advice. You know, but you have to, of course, you got to know all your numbers and make sure whatever it is you could deliver at. But ideally, if you're hitting like $2,000 as a goal, it's good because if you have like a $2,000, say, fixed goal, if that's what you need, fixed is good. Flexible's bad. I'm sorry. Why flexible is bad? Let me start over. Flexible is bad, and that's what I think I did because if you don't hit your goal, you get the money anyway.
Yeah.
On flexible, and then people have backed it and they're not sure, like, am I going to get something or not?
Right.
Save me here, time of dying, because I'm explaining this wrong. A lot of people who have doubts about a campaign, they'll wait till the last minute to see what happens. There you go. Boom. Unless it's funded. If it's funded, you're good to go.
Yep.
Mr. You know you may no. Yanafui does not make comics yet. He sent me a video on Twitter. Show it you. No. I didn't say you're a liar. I just said everything you say is true. I don't know Mr. Yanafui. He does some crazy videos. So I don't know what I'm doing. I got to see it first, Mr. Yanafui, just so I don't get myself in trouble. I'm in enough trouble already. I'm always in some sort of trouble, but it's more trouble lately. All right, so this is Butch Cleaver 2. I'm going to show you quickly what I've been doing with the Mermaids. This book I actually shipped. This was a funny story. I'll tell you a funny story. It is good to listen to feedback. In fact, it's great to listen to feedback. So I started doing this campaign, and two artists and guys who they have like tremendous heart. Dan Fraga and Billy Tucci were both saying to me like, hey, Adam, you have a 6-panel per page layout. Why don't you work with someone and change up the layouts to get it to be more dynamic? And I didn't want to do it, not because I didn't think it would look cool, but because it would be so much extra work and an unquantifiable amount of work. Like it's possible to do, like you could go out and meet somebody and have a good time with them. It's not going to take that long. If you ask 20 girls out, half of them are going to probably say yes. 5 of them will do whatever. But it's a project. So this was going to be a big project. But Chris Renkowitz, the guy, Renkabot, he's been on a bunch of shows. He's going to be having a new project of his own soon. He and I knew each other from my comic publishing days in the early 90s. He was actually hired into our studio. And he's incredibly talented. So he was like, no, we can really do this. So he worked with me on this for months, and we did the layouts differently and much more dynamic layouts. So we did this on, there's 40 pages of sequential art for this book, and there's another 12 or so pages of these full-page beautiful pinups, like this cover style. And it came out amazing. It took a few extra months. I wanted to ship this in April. We wound up shipping this just this month in August. But it allowed me to kind of produce something that I could be really proud of, which ultimately is what this is really about. It's not just about, of course, get the book out, get it out on time. It's you want to produce everything at its highest possible level. So we were able to get this book out. We did ship it. I did overprint a little of them if anybody's interested in checking these out. All these pinups, these black and white pinups, there's like 30 of them, in addition to another 70 pages of content and character descriptions and all this extra stuff with making the mermaids. We put in because of the 6-panel pages, I decided to put in the regular 6-panel black and white line art. This is a rough, but we have the final pencil and ink art. And it just became a really beautiful book and a great project. Patrick Parnell had it on his channel earlier, kind of showing people his copies of the book. And if anybody wants to check it out, epicmermaids.com. Links also in the description. Of course, the link to this cool book that we were just looking at, Bing Bang Boom, Butch Cleaver 2 is on there as well. And Matt is going to send me the link to his YouTube channel, which you already did. I like to promote people's YouTube channels as much as I can on here when they're on, because we all, if we focus on promoting our channel, and promoting our channel could just be as simple as promoting other people, because other people see that you're promoting other people. It's just a good thing to do. Even if you don't have like the best format, you know, I had a lot of different ideas of what I could do with the channel, but ultimately you have to do with what you're comfortable doing. You know, with you, Matt, I like talking about comics projects, kind of finding what people's backgrounds are. Sometimes I have advice. Sometimes I do not. And sometimes I can't necessarily add to the equation, but a lot of times I can. And it's really, really great. Oh, thanks, Shadowhawk. But it's really great to, like, honestly, it just kind of becomes a fun thing and a social thing. And it's not a chore to hang out with you, Matt, or to hang out with anybody else in the chat. It's a pleasure. You know, sometimes I sell extra comics because we do it. Sometimes we can sell your book or get you on more channels, but it's fun. It's just, you know, it's just a good time, really. And you have to find a way to promote, but kind of enjoy promoting when you're doing it. So it's not a hard thing to do. Question for both of us. What is the most recent comic book that you've read?
Skits.
You read Skits?
Yeah.
I'm about to read Starlight Cats, but I didn't read it yet. I just got it in yesterday.
I got a bunch of CG books I got to read. I haven't even read yet. But the thing is, when I like to read them, I like to do reviews with them, you know, so I usually kind of put a day aside to do it, you know, because and just kind of devote like a lot of time to it, you know.
I think maybe I should like read a book while I'm live streaming.
Yeah, that's always fun, you know.
Like, hey, look at this. You just show like one page from it or something like that. Before that, I actually read, that's a good question. And it's actually an interesting answer. I thought that the layouts that Kyle Ritter did in Starblades were fascinating. I thought that the 2-page spreads were really, really cool. And then I was talking about it with a friend, and he was like, have you seen 300? Frank Miller's original 300. And I hadn't seen it probably for years, and I don't know if I actually really saw it. I think I just kind of knew it existed.
Right.
Magicop 2. Oh, very cool.
Yeah, I got that too. I got so many books. I even got Red Rooster. I haven't read that yet.
Did Red Rooster finally come in? I was thinking about that book today.
I got that. I got Bancroft's book, Lucent. I got to read that. I got Chaotic Flux. I got like 10 books I got to read. I can't, you know, so many books. For me, like I'm waiting for Wirehead, like Time of Dying. I backed that book. Really into Rich Geronimo.
You know what I read actually recently? Okay. Oh, 300. That's what I was talking about. Sorry.
Yeah.
Frank Miller's 300. And it's all 2-page spreads, I guess. Yeah. Like with inset panels.
And it's that weird format too, that long format, you know?
Yeah.
Just like Holy Terror.
I never got Holy Terror, but I did get the hardcover for 300. And I was like, oh, this is really, really interesting.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, it was really cool. It was really, really cool. So the next book that I do is going to be very dynamic. Definitely no 6-panel pages. Yeah. Very dynamic. The story is going to be very, very good. It's going to be focused on a single character. Very iconic, cool name, cool logo. I mean, just everything just completely polished up to the hilt, and a lot of promotion ahead of time on YouTube. And I think that, you know, when you get on a lot of other people's channels, like I've been fortunate, I've been welcome on a lot of people's channels. They've been great to me. You know, it's fantastic. But I kind of like wasn't paying enough attention to my own channel, my own channel. You know, and then it's kind of like, well, you know, you could just jump on someone else's channel. It's going to get, you know, a whole bunch of views, and, you know, you participate with a bunch of other people, and it's fun and it's kind of easy. And it's like, nah, but you really want your own channel talking about your project as much as possible, because it's not just like everybody's going to be a backer necessarily, but I don't know, it helps to keep our heads in the game and also get feedback. and also influencers. There are very important people that watch our channel, that they will, maybe important people, like people that have good social media followings that also will help us out if they don't back us but they share our campaign. That's crucial. That's a big deal. So if there are 5 or 10 people who are like, yeah, I want to make sure Adam's successful the next time he launches his campaign, that's a great thing. It's going to help. And that's where the backers will come from. Did you see the last page for Black Flag? Mind blown so much. Dan Fraga has been publishing art for Black Flag as he's doing it, and it's fantastic.
Oh yeah, it's awesome, man. I can't wait. I backed that book too. It's going to be great.
His standard is so high. He has set such a high standard for himself, and he wants everything to be perfect. And that's, I want the same thing. The thing is it does feel a little bit like it's almost too good to be true. The Comicsgate thing, where it's like, okay, we can just work on whatever we're really passionate about. It just has to be great work. It's a lot of us right there. So close up. I don't know. I mean, I've been thinking about it a lot. Like I really want, excuse me, the next project I publish to be like that big project that everybody wants it no matter what. They just see it and they're like, damn, that is the coolest thing in the world. I can do that. It's just, it really takes a lot to, produce at that level. And the truth is,
it's like 5 years.
It doesn't have to take 5 years, but if you're going to put out a book and it's going to be like high level, high quality, everybody's going to be excited about it. That's, you don't need to have the whole book done. And I've been reminded by guys about that. It's good to have a lot done. It really is excellent to have a lot done. And, Brian Polito likes to have everything done, I know, before he does Lady Death. And he's very experienced with publishing. A lot of the stuff he says, I'm like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's true, because like any crazy thing can happen. So you want to have everything locked down. But the truth of it is in Comicsgate, like Brian Polito does very well with his campaigns. But if you compare the interiors of one of his projects with the interior of, let's say, Black Flag is, Dan's top level work. And Brian Polito is doing some amazing covers and good interiors, but, he's not trying to have the interiors match the covers. He's not even going there. But, Dan is doing that. Shane Davis is doing that.
Yeah.
Ethan Van Sciver is doing that.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm not trying to exclude anyone. It's just you could look at the work, and especially as an artist, you can kind of see like how much goes into, how much work there is going into Dan's pages. But what you don't know is that if Dan doesn't like how something's coming out, I mean, what you may have said it or not, but we don't see that he'll just throw it away. It's just you're like, nah, I got to start over. So you look at something, you're like, he looks like he's got 30 hours in this page, and not realize there's 2 pages behind it that weren't good enough. So it's very, very impressive to see how the work ethic, because these are in the Image Comics days, there are some guys that like they churned out a lot of work, and some guys that like they were just behind on everything, and it didn't necessarily show up later in the work. There's nobody lazy that I see in Comicsgate, that's for sure. But I gotta say too, like I'm not the artist, so if I promise something, I have to have a way of making sure it gets done.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
But how do I do that if I'm not going to draw it? It's tough.
You got to get it probably a lot of it done or something, or have them. You know what I mean? I don't know what I'm saying, but
yeah, no. The thing is, the trick is making sure that people have a professional work history, and that so like with working with freelancers and controlling production, what I found is, first of all, work and all relationships, as much as possible, communication. Sometimes you're on thin ice, and like if you're on thin ice with something, it's better to not rock the boat, whatever. Other than that, like a normal working relationship, talk it out. What's going on? Do you have a lot of other projects going on? Do you think you have time to do this? You do. Well, what are your other commitments? How much time do you think you're going to have to put into this versus other things? And kind of, talk through all those things, have a schedule you kind of agree to with everybody, break the stages down. One of the things that I like to do is if I hire someone to do art who will never waste their time, you know, I consider their time, like, because like I've talked to other people, not someone who's currently publishing in CG, but he published one book in CG, and he was working on a project and he was going to do it in color, and he was letting his artist also do a gray tone version, even though he was doing it in color, which is like, he didn't need the gray tones. And I was like, well, why are you having him do the gray tones? He's like, well, I might want to publish it in black and white in the future.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
And it does make sense, but he wasn't paying extra for the gray tones. So it's like, you got to be very careful, because you don't want to push somebody to the point where it's like, it's too much. You know, they may be willing to do it, but if it's not, you know, if it's too much work, it's going to,
if it's not needed, if it's not needed for the specific project, you don't need it.
Yeah. If it's not needed to make a deadline for the specific project. Exactly. So you kind of like talk through that stuff, deal with stuff at the layout stage instead of the finished stage. If a layout isn't working, you want to know that before the page is finished. That shouldn't be the page is finished. It's like, oh, we have to do this again because I just don't like how it came out. It's like, no, there's an obligation to figure that out. And even if people are like, no, it's okay, it's no big deal, you're using up goodwill with people, and eventually you know, push people to the limit. It's not good. All right. Ajax just subscribed to Matt's channel. It's a help. Thanks for subscribing to this channel. Thanks for subscribing to this channel. Clicking the bell for notifications. Make sure you click the bell for notification when you subscribe to Matt's channel. That is a big help.
Thank you so much.
Diego Bernard is one of the best interior artists to work on Lady Death. I've seen some good art. I've read some of the Lady Death books, and I guess Brian says that they're really inspired by heavy metal and stuff like that heavy metal culture. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Very, very passionate about it. So that's another thing I'm trying to do is bring to my work, is like, just be focused on stuff that you're really, really passionate about.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, man. Oh, yeah. It's got to be your other child. You know what I mean? Unfortunately.
People, yeah. Well, but you got to be so careful, because I've been there before, and it has to always stay commercial, where it's like, you want to go off on you want to be indulgent, because people want to support you being passionate about what you're doing and like getting to do your dream. But if it becomes too self-indulgent, and I've been there before, I don't know. When I do that, I've always lost a lot of money in the past. So it's like, you got to be really, there's a balance there. Like, just make sure it's great. Keep your promises, deliver a little extra. But don't get crazy. Don't get too crazy. All right. Speaking of crazy, I'm a little crazy. You have a great night, Paul. Great to see you. We're just going to wrap it up now. Guys, go ahead. Definitely support Butch Cleaver. Share this campaign. We can share it on Facebook too. You know, I've shared stuff on Facebook. It doesn't hurt. Sometimes people see it. Share it on Twitter. Let's see if we can get those numbers up and support that campaign. Matt seems like he's a great guy. Subscribe to Matt's channel as well. I can't show the video. I will look at the video, Mr. Yanafui. I'll be doing another show very soon this week. And I just got to see the video first, just to make sure it's not, you know, too crazy. I don't know what Mr. you're up to. All right, guys, have a great night. And thanks again for joining me, Matt. Guys, I will see you again soon with another video. And if I don't see you, you know I will miss you. Support Butch Cleaver too. Take care, guys. Have a great night.